And then years later, after getting what they want out of it, they claim that they were being assaulted the entire time. And in the Catholic Church, you have
what? Oh no. Oh no. POV, once again, yes, you do not know what a single consent is. An leaked surface video of Matt Walsh has him giving an extremely horrifying view on consent in the age of consent that has him defending multiple pedophiles, including Cardinal McCarrick, stating the victims should be able to defend themselves. What the what? Huh? Pardon me? I haven't seen this yet. This is back at this when I say Twink Walsh. This is what I meant. This is back in the Twink Walsh days. So Matt Walsh used to just make videos in his car back when he was like just doing YouTube and like harassing his podcast staff. He was just making conservative videos in his car. So yeah, this is back in the Twink Walsh days. He's put on some schmeat since then.
We have really two categories. There are non-consensual, which is bad, and then we have consensual, which we think is always good. That's what the culture says. That's what a lot of us have, most of us, it seems like that's the idea that we have. It's like, as long as they're consenting adults who choose to do this thing, then it must be okay. But the reality is that there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of immoral, there's a lot of disordered, gross, harmful that is nonetheless consensual.
Anybody up having some harmful? I forgot we still have people. Hey, that was around from. That's the emote that I got when I got this site transferred over to me. That was one of the latent emotes, and I never changed it and never moved it. Matt Walsh was always immoral. So true. OMG me.
All of the cases that I mentioned, they're all immoral, bad, gross, harmful. But they're not all rape. Some of them were. Not all of them. And until we acknowledge that there are other ways to have immoral sexual relations with a person, until we reclaim sexual morality and sexual boundaries, we will be stuck trying to condemn all bad sex on the grounds of consent, which
what the fuck is happening?
Expands the idea of consent so broadly as to render it meaningless, so that when we really need it, when there is actual non-consensual sex happening, we don't have any meaningful way to describe it, because the word consent has become is increasingly means nothing, because we've expanded it so much.
Well, then what's happening? What are we talking
into this complicated equation where nobody really knows when consent is happening. And even if a person does something willingly and is like, yes, let's do this. But even that might not be consent, because we've turned consent into this super confusing calculus. Mind.
Anybody up doing horny calculations? I know I am. No, consent doesn't matter. He's like, the word consent is just too much. It needs consent must be much smaller. Consent is too big. You can't consent to having a foot put in your ass. You can't consent to having a whole foot shoved up your ass. If you say yes, that's not consent. Because you can only consent to sex that I want you to have, apparently. I guess. Too much consent. It's surely a take. I mean, he would have a point if it would be like, I don't know, like a, libertarian sort of like free will, and we love, if it was like a libertarian idea of consent, then maybe, but we don't have like a libertarian idea of consent, brother. I don't know, this is very strange. How does this comport with his other ideas, that how he was like, we can't give 16-year-old men, quote 16-year-old men, end quote, that Matt Walsh said, that a beer, and he can't have sex with other adults because he should be able to consent. It's just peculiar behavior.
Actresses willingly have sexual relationships with powerful men, sometimes for years. Asia Argento herself, I believe, she was in a sexual relationship ongoing with Harvey Weinstein for like 5 years. She kept going back and engaging in this, in this stuff with him. And they do this for the sake of movie roles and so on. And for more, power and clout in the industry. And then years later, after getting what they want out of it, they claim that they were being assaulted the entire time. And in the Catholic Church, you have...
What? Oh, no. Oh, no. A POV, once again, yes, you do not know what a single consent is.
You have some cases where, like cases involving Cardinal McCarrick. You hear about Cardinal McCarrick and the controversy surrounding him. Now, there are accusations that he molested children. So, that's in that category. But then a lot of the accusations you hear about McCarrick and also with other, some of these other things as well. These are, in some cases, he's having sex with seminarians. These are grown men who he allegedly lured into bed and then had sex with. But as a grown man, if you let another man lure you into bed and then you willingly, with no resistance, engage in sex acts with him, does that belong in the same category as the 12-year-old kids who are raped by men twice their size? I think clearly it doesn't.
Oh my goodness. Oh, geez. Never heard of a singular power dynamic? I guess. That's peculiar. I love how he just kind of like brushed by the, he's accused of molesting many children. Anyways, did you hear about the grown adults he had sex with? What?
And then you also have the accusations against Asia Argento, where a guy at 17, legal age, in almost every state in the union, willingly has sex with this, 100-pound Italian model, making no effort to leave the room or leave the situation. Then he comes back, blackmails her, demands money for it, and gets paid. And now he says he was traumatized by his willing participation in sex acts with a woman when he was a few months away from his 18th birthday. Does that belong in the...
Okay. Yeah, I don't like that. Bad. Horrible even. Remarkable even. Also, why did he say 100 pound? Why did he say 100 pound? Like, what is... Like, why did he say 100 pound? Was he trying to say that she's like so hot? Hey, I mean, my man, he really got him a good catch. And then he went and complained about it. Too heavy for him? Oh yeah, he likes his girls sub 100. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.